we good to go? Excellent. Well, thanks for coming, everyone, or for joining us online. My name is Jackie Owen, and I'm with the College of Law. Main campus is up in Brisbane, but we do run courses on the coast and in other regional areas of Australia. So you're all first and second year in this room. Is there anyone further along than that? Where are you guys? Last year? Yeah, last year as well. So you guys are getting to this step, and you guys are a couple of years away. So excellent. So
Last exam on the 12th. Can you then enrol?
Yes. 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 For the 16th, for the 27th of October. Oh yes, we'll get to that. Yes. Or there is one down here on the 27th of November. If you wanted to do one local, it's up to you. Yeah. But absolutely, I'll talk about that when we get to the enrolment part, but certainly yes you can. And then obviously you would provide documents when they're available, but you can start the course. So we'll talk about what it means to actually be a practicing lawyer. So like a lot of other professions, it's really important to talk about law being a profession. So much like accountants and much like doctors, and barristers and lawyers are a profession. So it's not just a law degree to become a lawyer or a solicitor. You also need to have the next step, which is your sort of professional qualification, which is what we call practical legal training. So years ago, lawyers used to do, you've probably heard them talk about do that articles, and a lot of older lawyers would have gone through that system. Now it's been more formalised, where there is a work experience component to what you have to do, but there's also a practical legal training, which is the course that the College of Law does. So the College of Law itself is about 40-ish or 42 years old in Australia, and in Queensland we're 14 years old. So, and we run across Australasia. About 55% of all law grads come through the College of Law. A lot of the most of the big firms, and in fact, if you want to look at the top 10, 9 out of the top 10 law firms do use the College of Law. So we actually go in and do it in-house for them. So if you do end up in one of those firms, probably more so in Brisbane, but certainly down here on the coast, our lecturers will actually come in and teach that whole graduate cohort. And the reason that we actually started with our own campus in Queensland is that the big law firms were calling for the college to start up in Queensland. So from day one, we've been very much driven by industry and what industry want, and responding to the way in which their graduates are trained and working in partnership with industry to produce the next generation of lawyers. So you can't actually even call yourself a graduate lawyer or a lawyer until you have been admitted to whatever court you're going to apply for admission. So once you do walk across the stage here at Southern Cross, do not call yourself a lawyer before you've done your PLT and been admitted, because you can actually get into a lot of trouble by the Queensland Law Society. So to be a legal practitioner, you need a law degree, which you guys are either nearly done or halfway done. You also need a graduate diploma of legal practice, which is PLT, practical legal training, whatever you want to call it. It's a bit easier to say PLT than graduate diploma of legal practice. You also then need to fill out all the paperwork and get everything in order to be admitted to the Supreme Court of either Queensland or New South Wales, wherever you are going to practice. And yes, you can be admitted in more than one jurisdiction, that is for sure. Once you've been admitted, you then apply to the Queensland Law Society for your practicing certificate, and that is when you can call yourself a lawyer or a solicitor. And you do need to renew that on an annual basis. So you don't need to, you can be a member of the Queensland Law Society. I really encourage you to become a member. But you do need your practicing certificate, and that membership of the Queensland Law Society is awesome because there's so many CPE, continuing practicing education events and training that you can participate as well through the Queensland Law Society, and most lawyers you probably find are members. You also need to do a component of annual CPD, so continuing professional development. Because who wants to see a lawyer or a doctor or an accountant who did their whatever degree 5 years ago, 10 years ago, 20 years ago, 30 years ago? The law is always changing and you need to be keeping up to date on a regular basis. Once you are admitted, it's only about 10 hours a year. It's actually quite, a lot of people go, ooh, but by the time you go to a couple of conferences, do a thing here and do a thing there, those 10 hours will come quite easily. I've just been working in the accounting space, working for CPA Australia, which is the same course, sort of similar, that accountants have to do, and they have to do 120 hours every 3 years with a minimum of 20 every year. So we've actually got it quite easy. So 10 hours, it will be easy for you to maintain. And that's why it is a great idea to become a member of the Queensland Law Society and to go and, so for example, if you are a family lawyer, they have a big conference, it's usually down the Gold Coast, it's a big residential one for a couple of days, and you can just go back-to-back seminars, and you can choose which section you go to, and you can mingle, and you can network, and you can meet lots of contacts. And it's a lot of fun, and then in those 2 days, you actually have signed off for the whole 10 hours. So there's lots of really great ways you can do that CPD. So what is practical legal training? So for those who have just joined us, I was just basically have said that it's not enough just to have a law degree to call yourself a lawyer and to work as a legal practitioner. You have to do your graduate diploma of legal practice, or PLT, practical legal training, get admitted to the Supreme Court of Queensland, obtain a practicing certificate from the Queensland Law Society, and then do your annual CPD to maintain that. So, what is practical legal training? Well, our course is a very practical, hands-on course that you'll be able to learn things and apply them straight into your work if you happen to be working, and it will build on your academic training. So, you have studied a lot of theory and probably have done some practical components in your degree, but this is the how to do it stuff under instruction from our lecturing staff, who are all or some of them current practicing lawyers themselves. So they've been there and done that, and have been through the process and have worked as lawyers, and some are still working as lawyers or barristers themselves. It is a requirement for all graduates for admission to whatever court you want to apply to be admitted to in all Australian courts. So in all Australian states. So it's not unique to Queensland. It is something that every law graduate throughout Australia has to do in some form or other. And it's certainly, we aim to prepare you to go into practice and to be able to pick up and go. And certainly, you will also be getting on-the-job training for sure, and then being mentored by the senior lawyers where you are working, hopefully, or going well. And it's the start of your legal career, and I really encourage you to put a lot, as much effort as you put into getting a law degree into your PLT. It's over in a flash, really. It's very intense while you're in it, but it's not a tick box exercise. It is something that you really have to put the hours in, put the work in, and then you'll get a lot out of it as well, and it certainly will set you up for a really successful career. So there's 3 components to complete your PLT at the College of Law. And first of all, there's the coursework component, and I'll go through that shortly. There's the work experience component, and then there is some continuing professional education that you'll have to do as part of the course, and that's all provided for you. So we have a really great system. So much like you've probably got a student login here at the university, and all your bits and pieces and things are submitted online, and it's all, I was in the olden days, I have to actually drive to uni and put it in a box next to my lecturer's door. So, it's much like that. So all your coursework is submitted online. Your feedback is received through the system. So it can be notes on your actual documents. It can even be some voice messages. So it's really cool. Something will pop up and you'll click on it, and then it'll be your lecturer talking to you about some feedback of a certain part of your work. You also have them on the end of the telephone, and all your exams, there's no written exams, they're all oral examinations. No more written exams. It will all be done online. And even the continuing professional development is provided through that portal for you. So it's all part of the package that you'll receive from the college as everything that you need. So when can I start? Everyone gets excited about this one and wants to, I want to start as soon as I can and get it in as soon as I can. You certainly can start early if you want to, but you do need to have completed your pre-3 11 core subjects, and hopefully you know what those are through uni, and you have to only have no more than 2 electives remaining. So pretty much you could only start in that last semester. But just remember that the first week of our course is an intensive, so it's Monday to Friday full time. So if that happens to fall in the middle of your semester, it's probably not going to work for you. So just bear in mind that you do have to commit to the first week of our course full time. So I'd probably say get your uni out of the way, do what we also don't want you doing is overcommitting and failing a subject. Get that under control and ticked off and signed off and passed, and then you can come to us. And you can come 4 days later if you want. It's absolutely up to you and what your career goals are, of course.
Is that intensive? Is that like we have to go somewhere to?
Yes. Yes. So either Brisbane or we do have one. We've got 2 sessions on the coast every year as well. So and I have put this. So in your bags, just so that you know, there is a handbook. That's last year's handbook. We're like this close to getting the new handbook, and when it's available in a PDF, which is any day now, I'll send it to Brendan, and he'll put it somewhere for you guys to get. But this is the new date release here. So these are the dates. So pretty much the information in the handbook won't change if you just supplement it with this. So as you can see, in our regional course intake, we've got one starting, we basically do November and June every year, or you can come to Brisbane and do it, or go to the Sunshine Coast, or Cornwall, Townsville, or Townsville. It's wherever you want to do it. So, that 22nd of November is probably time, so that it is up to you. So, what their schedules are like. Okay, if you want to start early and you meet those 2 criteria, you have to gain permission from the Queensland Legal Practitioners Admissions Board, which sits within the Queensland Law Society, and that is a rule across all providers, so it's not something unique to the college. So that's just divided by if you choose to do so. So here's how the coursework actually works. Full time, 15 weeks. Over the snap, really. You do 5 days at the beginning of the program as an intensive, so Monday to Friday. And if you are part-time, it's literally just double the time, 30 weeks. But again, that first week is Monday to Friday full-time, somewhere in a location with a group of other students and a lecturer. So you have to factor that in. We do have an online, a part-time evening course, which is still the majority of the stuff online. But that is, if you just know that as a learner you are a little bit better in the classroom situation, you can choose to come in and do some evening classes as well. However, that is only Brisbane only. Unfortunately, it's only on campus, that one. But all of the different modes will have that first week full-time, Monday to Friday, and it might not necessarily be on those dates for the regional courses. So last time the Gold Coasters actually did it in week 2. It's usually only week 1 or week 2, so it kind of depends. And again, for both of full-time or part-time, it is all oral assessments through our online portal. So these are the subjects that everyone will do. So 5 compulsory subjects, civil litigation practice, commercial and corporate practice, ethics and professional responsibility, lawyer skills and property practice. So that can form the compulsory component, and then you'll choose 2 electives. Brendan, do we have capacity to send the slides to people?
Yes,
Would you like me to email them
we
to
certainly,
you, and then you can?
we certainly can.
Yeah. Okay, I'll do that. When I'm back in the office tomorrow,
Yes.
I'll get that done to you. I think there is a copy floating around from last time I was here, but obviously this one's got the new dates in it, so I'll replace it with this. Okay, so then you choose 2 elective subjects. You do have to choose those within the first week. And if you are in a graduate program, in one of the bigger firms, they might choose them for you, which makes sense. So, for example, say something like Minters or Clayton Utes, they don't practice in criminal, so they won't let they're not allowed to do criminal, family, or wills and estates because they don't practice in those areas. Everyone has to do admin law, and then they can choose one of the other ones that are left, or you might work somewhere where it's absolutely your choice.
So how do these subjects differ to what we do at uni? Because we have to do admin or
Yes,
civil
yeah.
litigation.
So it's sort of the next step up from that. So it's a postgraduate level. So without the understanding of what you've learned at uni, because obviously you're not covering everything in admin law in 12 weeks, that's your grounding, and then we will basically pick up where uni left off. Take it to the next level as well. And it's a lot more practical than what you're doing at uni. So you will actually be drafting stuff and preparing documents, and that'll be your assessment. So within every subject, our portal is really, really good. And in your first week with your lecturer, you'll actually have your logins by then, and you'll all go through the system, and your lecturer will show you how to use the system. It's really great. And basically you just follow the bouncing ball sort of figuratively / literally. So you'll start with these subjects. You do your electives at the same time because they're shorter subjects. So you'll do your compulsory ones first, and then you'll do your electives together. That's full time, so it's obviously a bit spread out part time. And each subject will be divided into modules, and then each module will be divided into tasks. And it will just say do this, and then do this, and then do this, and then do this. So if you're a full time student, there will be something due pretty much every second day. So you really have to get that calendar. Tell your friends you're not available for 15 weeks. You can rejoin them after that. You have to get that calendar, and you have to do, it's sort of, I guess 15 hours per subject that you have to put in. So if you're doing full time per week, so if you're doing 2 subjects full time, you'll be doing 30 hours. I mean, I guess everyone's learning style is different, so you might be able to bang it out quicker. Some of you it might take you longer. You'll know how you best work. But you need to stay on top of what the coursework tells you you should do. Work through everything. Ask questions of your lecturer. Get to know the students in your group in that first week. So you've got support, and you can talk to people like that. But it's really important to stay on top of it. Now, if you're working, and obviously you'll have to go to court, or you have to do this or do that, don't panic or stress about that. It's not the first time it's ever happened. Everyone's going to court. So just keep in contact with your lecturer and say, look, I've got that assessment on next Wednesday. I'm actually now scheduled to go to court. Can we reschedule? That's not a problem. Or that's due. Can you give me an extension? Very, very flexible, but just keep the lines of communication open. That's really, really important, because obviously we don't know what everyone's up. And it's not just 10 of you in that little group doing the course. We've got thousands and thousands and thousands of students across all states of Australia, and it's a military operation to get everyone scheduled for exams. There's a team in Sydney, that's all they do. And you do get choice, so they'll open up and you can select which day and which time you want. So it's quite flexible. And again, if we teach it in-house at the law firm, it's really good because they might book a meeting room and then you will just trot them out one at a time to do your exam. Or you'll do it online if you're not in that situation. So you just need a quiet room and a computer, and then you can sort of step off and do your exam. Yes?
So with just the previous
Yep.
slide. So those subjects, do we do those, say, like 2 weeks per subject? Like, is it an intensive for those 2 weeks, or?
Yeah, no, you'll do, those 2 subjects, pass everything, move on. So it's all, the order and everything is pretty much predetermined of how you'll do it, yeah.
So
But usually you finish the subject and then you move on to the next, finish the subject and move on to the next. And you have to be, completing something before you can move on. So if you don't pass so how it works is you do all your tasks, so they're due, and if you're completing all of those, then you actually do a bit of an online multiple choice sort of exam, and that's just to tell us if you're ready for your oral assessment. So you have to pass that, and then they will schedule you for your oral assessment, and that's your final exam. So there'll be half an hour with someone asking you questions.
so there's no written assessment at all. Okay.
All good.
Like mock trials, moots.
No. There's a little bit of group work, and in that first week, and some scenarios where you are in groups and you're doing real life situation stuff, but no moots as such.
With the electives, is it sort of getting your foot in the door in an area? 3 years after practicing, sort of changing around, not that you're doing it anyway, but
No. It's you'll just follow, I guess, your passion. So if you've really enjoyed a certain area, so if you really have enjoyed criminal, and usually people who go into criminal do have a calling from it from like first time they studied at uni. Oh my god, that's what I want to do. So whatever you've really enjoyed at uni and being good at, then that's often what people select. If you're working already, quite often it'll follow follow what the firm that you're working with does, and obviously that's not going to be where you practice forever, most likely. And obviously you have to do CPD annually, so you can come back and do stuff. So we have a master's program as well. So that's the next step that you will do after your PLT, and when you say 4 or 5 years into practice, then you'll probably really know what area of law you'll start to. And some people never specialise, some people do. If you're in a smaller firm, you'll do a bit more of a range. So you're not going to know that till you get there, really. It's kind of, one of those things. You'll find your path, and there'll be opportunities that'll open up that you haven't even thought of. And law's changing so much. We actually had an awesome event at Griffith yesterday. I was not able to attend it, full disclosure. I had put my back out, and I was not allowed to drive to the coast 2 days in a row from my boss, Anne-Marie, said, "You're not coming." I'm like, "You're not the boss of me, you are." And my chiropractor didn't let me either. But we had this amazing panel at Griffith, and we've done similar things at the college for our alumni, talking about new law and technology and disruption and innovation and all the changes that are happening in law at the moment. It's really exciting. So you can freak out about it and see it as a threat, because all the sort of traditional grunt work, grad jobs, a lot of them are being offshored, or they're moving to sort of artificial intelligence situations. Or, as someone I heard a more experienced lawyer say the other day, actually that's really exciting. All that boring stuff's being done automatically, and now you guys can get to the fun stuff more quickly than you would have, say, if you've been graduating 5 or 10 years ago, certainly. So, also, you've got to remember that lawyers are really slow to move on this innovation and disruption. I've just come out of the accounting world, as I said before, and we were talking about that 5 years ago when I started at CPA Australia. So accountants and other professional organisations and the business world has been doing that for years. Lawyers are just going, "Oh, innovation, oh, okay." But it's really changing, it's really, so for example, where you used to get a room full of grads, going through documents for mistakes and compliance and all that sort of stuff. Now that can be done really quickly by a computer, and it can be done so much more accurately as well. So that sort of boring sort of work has been taken over by artificial intelligence, and but you'll always need the human factor. And I think you guys have also got to go out knowing that this space is really comfortable and familiar to you guys, and you are more used to it, whereas people who are older and have been in the legal industry for years and years and years don't cope very well, and change is scary for them. So if you guys can go out and lead the way. So I was just at lunch with some of the girls from the Griffith University Law Students Association, great friends of Southern Cross, and they were saying that one of their friends had gone to work experience or had done a placement at whatever law firm, and they were sitting around talking, so the law firm sitting around going, yes, we might, yes, I think this program is something that would help our business, and he just happened to mention that he was familiar with that program and how it worked, so they've now employed him to bring it in and train everyone. So, you know, he's not even graduated from uni yet, and he's now teaching all these older lawyers. So just remember that. I know it's really scary going out into the workforce, and it's a big change, and, you know, you're breaking into industry and you're forming your networks. You guys bring a lot as well. So just take that on board and you know, value what you bring as well, because all the firms and industries out there talking about the next generation of lawyers, and they're quite excited for you to get there. So I know it's a hard slog, and going for interviews and applying for stuff, it's quite scary, but they are really also excited for you to get there and to bring all that new knowledge with you. And the way, by the time you guys are managing practices, law will look completely different because of your generation. So anyway, that's a side note. But, okay, so work experience. You have to tick off your work experience component to complete your PLT, and we have two formats. So I'll talk about the standard one first. So this, and it's just changed. It's changed and it's heaps better. So good timing. The standard form of work experience is just 75 days working in a legal environment. And now, from the first day that you start PLT, you look backwards 2 years, and you can have already done 60 days work experience. So if you are finishing year 2 and going into 3 and 4, a really great way to get your PLT done more quickly in 2 years when you get there is to start looking for work experiences now. So say if you were starting January 2020, anything from January 2018 would count. So 60 days from 2 years before you start your PLT. And you've got another 2 years to finish that 60 days. So it's actually a 4-year period that you can get work experience. But the line in the sand is the date that you start PLT. So our lady at back who's thinking about starting in 10 minutes. So what date were you thinking about?
End of October.
End of October. So if we go back to end of October 2015, anything that you've done that meets the criteria up to 60 days will count, and then you can be doing, you can be gaining work experience days while you're doing your PLT, but you've also got 2 years after your PLT, but you have to do that 60 days. Yes.
How do you get the previous work experience accepted?
You fill out a form and submit it.
Okay.
And you get it signed off by the people that you are working under as well. So you can be getting that done as you go along. Obviously, if it's you're starting your PLT and you did some work a year ago, a year and a half ago, that will still count, but you need to go back to those people and get it signed off. So if you sort of finish a placement, you can always download the forms from our website and get them signed off. And they'll be expecting you to come. Some students I've talked to are like, oh, I'm a little bit nervous about asking. It's like, hey, they're expecting it. It's perfectly normal. This is what's expected. So law is very much about mentoring the next generation of lawyers, and then you, in a few years, as practicing lawyers, will have students working for you or new grads working for you, and you will be the one signing the form. So, and people signing your form, their forms were signed a couple of years ago. So it's all about just saying, hey, I'm finishing up. Would you ever sign off this form, and then I've got it from when I need. So just getting that in order. It can be with the one employer, or it can be with many different ones.
So what if you've worked in a firm for the last couple of years, like you've been paid to work in a firm? Like, is that?
Yep, I'll show you the criteria shortly. I'll just talk about the clinical experience module. So if you don't have that much work experience, you can actually do an extra module. There is an extra cost to that module because obviously it's another subject. And you experience, stuff to talk about on your resume, stuff to talk about in interviews. It's invaluable. So even if it doesn't, you have plenty of time to get your 75 days. Even if it doesn't count towards the 75 days, it's invaluable. It sounds like an amazing thing, and I encourage you all, if that is an elective, to do that sort of thing, because you never know. If you do a great job, they might offer you a couple of days a week, or they might know someone that's a referee. So while all part-time jobs are amazing, and that's, you know, even if you're waitressing or working at McDonald's or whatever, that's still someone to say, yes, they've got a great work ethic. Yes, they're pleasant to have around. Yes, they're always trying to find solutions to problems before they bring the problem to me. Yes, they're this. Yes, they're that. But it's even better to have a person in a legal setting say that. It's even more powerful for you. So yeah, I think anything that like that you can do is certainly amazing. Yes.
So do we have to track down our own work experience, or College of Law does that?
No, well, you'll be looking for grad positions. So we don't have the capacity to place students. We don't have. Look, we do have someone that does facilitate some placements. So for example, the DPP every is it 4 times a year or 3 times a year will send us, hey, we're looking for this many students, and then we put it out there to all students. But you'll be looking for graduate jobs as per, you know, why you went to do a degree. But just like the uni doesn't find you a job, they give you the skills to find you a job. The College of Law gives you the skills to find a job. So, but no, we don't have a work like a HR person, because no one wants us to do that for them. The firms, that's never in their business. So if firms, you know, the big firms have a set recruitment thing, and yeah, they might whack up a link on our website. They don't need to do that. You know, mid-sized firms, corporates or whatever like that, they can advertise those on our job boards, but usually they don't have to do that because they're getting enough applications and people lining up at the door. One date I will get you to put in your diaries as you're going into your penultimate year, and next year is the 20th of March, is the Queensland Law Society Legal Careers Expo. It's held at the Brisbane Convention Centre, so it's on the train or carpool up, maybe organise a group to share petrol or something, go out to dinner afterwards. I think it's like from 4 o'clock in the evening maybe, but it's already been advertised because we've just signed off our sponsorship. It's on the 20th of March, and I really encourage you all, especially in penultimate year, so second last year, that's when law firms are looking for their summer clerks. So you'll be finishing 3rd year, and when they're looking for their grad pool, which is after, you know, 1st year out of uni, they'll look in their summer clerkship program first. So say they want to fill 30 grad positions, they might they'll look at that, they'll pick from their summer clerks first. So once you're in the summer clerkship, you'll quite often, and you won't even have to reapply quite often. You might have to slot into the interview process right at the end, but you're already in so far, because that's summer clerkships are try before you buy for both of you. So make sure that in your beginning career season is March, in your second to last year.
How do you go about a summer clerkship?
It's a whole different presentation.
Oh, really?
But we will get to that. I think maybe we might put that on the list.
Yep.
And we might come and do another session. So what I might do is bring an employer. So they will all advertise. They'll also, they also do the career fair circuit. So if you don't have anything here, that's why you need to go to the QLS 20th of March. So if you're in second, what year are you next year?
Second year, but I'm doing a graduate degree, so it's only 3 years.
Okay, so you need to be there on March 20th. Yeah. So basically, just think, you know how big the Brisbane Convention Exhibition Centre is? a flaw of people wanting to employ grads. So you need to go there, business attire. Who's got a business card? Getting off topic. Who's got a business card? Okay, so
but not for law, as a nurse.
well, if I wanted to get in touch with you today, what would you do? Get bottom of your handbag or pull a Coles docket out and scratch your name down. You need to go on like Vistaprint or Officeworks or some sort of thing. You can get free ones and you just pay a few dollars for delivery, and you just put name, law, whatever you want to put it, law student, Southern Cross University, expected completion date, October 2020 or whatever it is, phone number, email address, LinkedIn profile, edit your LinkedIn profile. Sensible email address, Foxy Mama or Creepy Kitty or beatmonster@hotmail.com does not get interviews. Use your university one or a sensible one. Surname or first name, surname, and a number, whatever, @gmail.com or whatever you got. Message on your phone. Do not have talk to text. That is so annoying. It doesn't work. Pay for a voicemail. Turn it off when you've got a job. And it says, "Hi, you've reached insert your name. Sorry, I can't take your phone call at the moment. Please leave your name and number. I will get back to you as soon as possible. Thank you for your call." I run someone once. I used to work at QT Career Service. I used to run the mentor scheme, so I was matching students with industry people to be, and one went something like this: "Hi, you've maybe reached whatever. If you maybe leave your phone number, I'll maybe call you back." And I had it on speaker and I went, "This is Jackie Allen from the mentor scheme. As soon as you can change this message to something more appropriate, ring me back. I maybe have a mentor for you." So that's not professional, and a grad recruiter will hang up and not read the message. So everything that you are presenting is putting that thing. What we might do is flip through some PLT stuff, and then we can come back to the grad stuff, because I get really excited talking about that. Okay, legal business series skills. Now, within our course, so you need to, so coming out of the business world myself, you need to acknowledge that being a lawyer, you are in business. You're in the business of providing legal services to your clients. But there is a whole nother part to being a lawyer that involves marketing and communication and accounting and all that sort of stuff, especially if you are thinking about going into business for yourself. But even if you're not, you will be involved in the business of the law firm in some form. So having those skills is really important, and that is what employers are telling us that they want to employ. So we have, in response to industry, put in a legal business skills series. You have to do 2 out of the 10 for your PLT as part of the CPD component. However, if you do all 10, and seriously, you can flip through it in a weekend or over a couple of weekends. Understanding financial documents, time and work management, developing legal stuff. It's not Harvard University level. It is very graduate, going out into the market, first job sort of level. If you do all 10, you'll get a certificate in that, and that's an extra thing to tell employers. So take it seriously. Don't just go, just do 2 and get through it. Why don't you just do all 10 and get another free certificate? You've paid for it, you might as well. There's also some webinars and other things that you'll have access to as part of your PLT enrollment, and you will do those as well. And once they're logged, and they'll sign off your CPD. So you do that on top of your coursework as you're going through. So just in your schedule, just do a couple of hours a week, and you'll get through that pretty easily. It's good training for when you're a lawyer. So tips for fast tracking. So we've also already talked about getting your work experience in your final years of, so in the 2 years before you're planning to start PLT. So yes, you can take a gap year, and I do actually really encourage travel, because it's very good for you as a person. And also, when are you ever going to have more than 4 weeks off ever again? Yeah, welcome to the world. However, if you do that, so you've done 2 years work experience, then you go away for a year, then you come back and do PLT. You've just lost 2 years. You've only got 1 year. But of course, you can do it going forward. So if you're going to do that, do all your work experience in the last year, so that you've still got 60 days. Register any previous work experience that you have done with the college, and you can always do the extra module. It's about an extra $1,000 to do that, but I'll show you the pricing. I'll show you the current pricing. Of course, it might have changed a bit by the time you get there. So course dates, and I did bring you a flyer, so you've actually got all these. You don't need to write them down. So on the 27th of November, so basically we do a June and a November intake. End of June, end of November, which pretty much is most universities are on a semester that fits in with when you guys are graduating from uni. So you can move straight into it if you so want to do so. And you can do it full-time or part-time. So when you, so say you're doing one on the coast on the 27th of November, you'll be in a room. So last time we ran it up at the, I want to say it was the Southport RSL, wherever the Wiggles were playing that week. No, it wasn't Southport Sharks, it was an RSL. Yeah, it was actually quite nice. And there was a group of about 15 people. Some of them were doing full-time, some of them were doing part-time. So full-timers will be finished by March, and part-timers will be finished in July. So it kind of depends on what your work situation is. Not working, just get in and smash it out. And we do also offer regional courses in Cairns, Toowoomba, Townsville, Gold Coast, Sunshine Coast, and they all start on those 2 days. So it's a big week for us at College of Law. On-site dates are yet to be confirmed because we're still confirming locations, and it may be that you'd start the intensive on the 27th of November. It might be the week after. So, but it's around that time. And regional courses are subject to minimum numbers. So if we don't get so that's why it's a good idea that if you are intending to do that course, get in and register with us. Because you might be, it's only 5 or 6 that we need to run. So if we're sitting at 4 and you're the 5th and it didn't run, you know, you might cut that. Usually I can say the Gold Coast always runs. It's one of our bigger regional ones. It's usually the Cairns one that has trouble with the numbers. Okay, Brisbane dates. So this means that your intensive is in Brisbane for a week. And then you're online for the rest. So it's, if you want to come to Brisbane and be on campus with us at college, that would be lovely. You can get to meet everyone. We're just being refurbished at the moment. It's not going to be as fancy as this, but it will be quite nice. And basically, we've got courses starting all the time. And those ones we usually, you can swap over by the end of the week if you want to change between part-time and full-time, but usually we start the cohort as a full-time cohort and then a part-time cohort usually the week after, just because then you'll get to meet the people that you'll be pacing with, and you can set up support group. So you've got all those dates. As I said, those are our locations, and this is the costs currently, and these, I'm not sure when the new handbook comes out if they will change, but they'll be around these figures. So it depends if you're doing the actual module or not, which is the difference in the price. So on that top line, you've got, this is the price if you're doing a 75 days work experience and you don't have to do the module, and then 10,450 if you're doing the work experience module. And as I said, you can add that on at the end. You don't have to make that decision when you're enrolling. So you can just enroll as normal and see what happens, because if it's 30 weeks later, you might already have got work experience. So payment is either upfront or it is eligible students can use fee help. So if you're an Australian citizen or a permanent resident, yes, you can use fee help. So that's kind of the hex for post-grad. So it's or even better, get a job where they pay for you to do it. That'd be my plan. So certainly all grad programs will pay for those. Okay, so the College of Law, as I said, is the biggest provider of PLT in Australia, and about 55% of grads in Australia are coming out and coming through college. We certainly endeavour to get you practice ready, so you you are putting those skills, the practical skills that we're teaching you straight into the work that you're doing. It's also very flexible. So you do have that 1 week intensive. It used to be 3, now it's 1, so it is full on. But after that, you can be doing your PLT studies wherever you've got an internet connection. So go down and sit on the beach and do your work. That'd be fabulous. It's certainly very attractive to employers because our course has been developed in response to especially the bigger firms. We have very good lecturer to student ratios, and we get a lot of support and guidance through the course. We've got a great online system, and it's just very, very flexible. And certainly we want you to stay part of the college family as well. So we just had a lovely event on Tuesday night where it actually counts as CPD, and you come and we get all these great speakers from different areas. So we were talking about social media and how that's not enough for your marketability. This lady's lawyer's written a book about social media in law firms, and so it was quite interesting actually. So certainly our alumni groups are getting bigger and bigger, and sort of connecting more to college as well. It's a great source of networking as well. So that's my number and my email and my LinkedIn. So who's on LinkedIn? Oh, that's actually quite a good ratio there. Hands up who's not on LinkedIn but will be within a month. Everybody else, that's correct. Okay, so I do have a little tip sheet if anyone wants to email me for that, for LinkedIn. It is essential. Business students are all over this stuff. I've been running LinkedIn workshops for quite a long time with accounting and business students, and they are all over it. It's really important to get on LinkedIn. So being new to the law myself, I think tomorrow marks my 4-month anniversary of college. So what I did as soon as I started was I connecting with as many people as I can. A lady, write this name down, Anne-Marie, A-N-N dash Marie is M-A-R-E-E, David. She's the CEO of the college, and she would love to get an invitation. So when you connect with her, put on a message, "Dear Anne-Marie, Jackie said to connect with you." And she loves it. She's connected to everyone in the world. That's important. She's an amazing lady. So she is always commenting. She puts maybe 3 or 4 comments and shares stuff onto LinkedIn every day. Every time you meet someone at a networking event, ask if you connect with them. Connect with me, please. And that way, when it's early March and I might share something from the Queensland Law Society, law students, make sure that you come to the QLS Careers Expo on the 20th of March. Come and visit us on the college day. We go, that's right, I'm supposed to go to that, wasn't I? Oh, quick, arrange my life to go. So that you're kind of knowing what's happening. So connect with people that it's a really great way to find out what's happening. There's a lot of talk on LinkedIn about technology and innovation and disruption and that sort of stuff. So it's a lot of crap as well, so just tune that out. It's a bit like Facebook. But you can really tune into the people that are having intelligent conversations. You can also start to build your own network and connect with people. That lots of people, like for example, the other day, because I've got about 1,500 people in my network, considerable amount of them are in the accounting world. I'm just starting to build into law now. But someone, a friend of mine she's a chartered accountant, but we still like her. She had a job going in a very small boutique firm, just one job. She goes, I just want a student. I said, put it on LinkedIn and I'll share it. So I shared it because my network is the people that she wants to talk to. So I just went, share. This would be a great firm to work with, great mentoring opportunities. It's a really flash office in the Valley in Brisbane as well. So that went out to sort of 300-400 people. But like sometimes you share things, and if certain people with bigger followings than you like it, I've had some of my posts go viral, 35,000 people. It's come up in that many feeds. So someone might put out, their friends got a law position, they like it, you're connected to someone who's connected to them, and then it comes up in your feed, you're like, oh, yep, there's the sick link, I'll go and, or oh, okay, get in touch with that person. So it's really important, having a professional voicemail on your phone, a business card linked in, making sure that, you know, if you are going to networking events, you're also presenting yourself properly, and just starting to become a professional, moving from that student space into a professional. One of the girls I was had lunch with from Griffith, she was like, you know what, I'm not the best student, I do all right. She has a 6 point something to get. Anyway, she does all right, but she has been involved in the student association. She has organised this, she's just done that, she's done this, she's working part-time, there's every networking event she can hear about, she's involved in the National Student Association for Law Students, so she's really well connected and she's already working. So if you are going to your second year or going into your third year, don't think that you have time. When you get to the end, you start looking for a job. You have started from the day one of your first year of law. So it's really important to get to know people and to have something to talk about. For example, if you're in an interview and they ask you about when you've worked in a team, please do not say I did a group assignment at uni. Everyone else in the world has done it, and we know that. So you need to be able to say, oh, well, I work at, I'm a waitress here, or I work at McDonald's, or I work in a law firm, or I worked at Maya for 5 years, that was my uni job. And I used to run the stock takes. So that was my managing people, responsibility, communication, attention to detail, blah, 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 blah. And that says a lot more. Like, who cares? Seriously, if you give that answer that you worked in a group assignment at uni, they'll go, and there's don't know that you know what. So it's about putting that richness onto your LinkedIn. Be very careful. Comment on things, like things. But be careful also, there's a lot of people, you know, don't use bad language, don't be don't obviously only speak, type what you would say in a professional environment. I've seen people use the F-bomb and all that sort of stuff, which might be appropriate for Facebook. It's not appropriate for LinkedIn. Because he was commenting on one of his friends, obviously, and I just went, do you realise that, like, I don't know you, you know, people, there's a lot of stuff about, you know, the gay marriage situation at the moment, whatever you feel either way, that's not the forum to be, you know, going attacking people, all that sort of stuff. So just remember that that's all visible. Also be very careful with your Facebook as well. Even if you've got it locked down, you don't know who you know that knows whoever's trying to employ you. So you keep the 5 B's off it. So I can remember them. Bums, boobs, bongs, booze, maybe it's only 4 B's. Anyway, all that sort of stuff, of like clean up all your social media and have it as private as possible. So obviously, you're going to law, it's a really conservative environment you're going into, and even when you present yourself to the receptionist for an interview, you might charm the living daylights out of whoever's the partner and then grab the HR person, but if you were rude to reception on the way in, she or he is going to be telling you, and that will mark you down as well. So everyone is judging you, basically. Sorry about that, but they are. So it's all about making that professional impression and networking as well, and it starts now. So that's why I want you to get a LinkedIn profile and start to add connections and some richness. Get involved in the student association here. They're probably always looking for people to help out with events. That looks so good on your resume. And if you're organising an event and you're inviting industry, hello, they know. So Brendan will be putting out his applications, and he might have invited, you know, grad recruiters to come and speak on this panel. Oh, there's that nice friend of mine. Yes, he did a really good job. He was always very professional. You know, yes, yep. No, we'll interview him because we know him. He's already got cred over there. So that's the sort of thing that will kind of get you to demonstrate. Any questions?
Very quiet, everybody. I want to read it. Yeah.
You said that you do like presentations in law firms for the PLTs, like St. Johnson and stuff.
Yes, yes.
Do you put up a list of where you do those?
Oh,
So that you
it's
know
not so much that we do. So what we do is we do the PLT program in their thing. So I mean, you probably don't need to. It's all but one, and don't ask me what the one is. You'll probably learn that. Pretty much what will happen is instead of you enrolling on your own, like as a self-funded learner, I guess, and choosing College of Law, they'll just go and you're going to College of Law, and the lecturer comes in, and instead of you doing your intensive,
So you've got to be in that.
you've got to be in their grad pool. Yeah. So they just go. So let's just say, this half the room got 10 people, and you're the 2018 grads at Winter Ellison, or it's not the Gold Coast though; they're separate. So they might send grads to us, but they don't do it as a group. But the Brisbane one certainly does, and they'll just go, oh, by the way, here's your induction thing. Next Monday you're starting PLT. Go to meeting room 2, and then the lecturer turns up, and you actually do your intensive at work. And it'll be part of a grad program. So some of the Minters guys, or some of those big guys, let's just say all of them, one lot was saying that, so their grads will quite often they start every grad in the country on the same day, and they fly them all to, I think Clayton's, I was having this conversation, all to Sydney. So the very first week they go to Sydney. Messi's joiners apparently last year, we had a few of those. Someone fell in the harbour. There's no boat cruise in 2018, so. So they do a week of corporate induction with everyone in the whole country in Sydney. Then you'll come back and do your local induction, and then you'll also start your PLT. And then so you'll do that 1 week, and that's really good to do it that way because before you start working matters, you're not going to course if you put your full week into time into that week, and then you'll go and start a rotation. So they'll put you in this area of the business for 3 months, and then you'll rotate. And we time our exams around the rotations as well. So, for example, the weekend, when there's a holiday on the 2nd, exams are on that Thursday and Friday because they rotate on the Tuesday, and they want them to have no study and nothing work on that weekend just to give them a bit of break. So it's all coordinated like that. It's really good actually. And then I think that lots of, was it them, the Clayton's one, or someone, they were going to London, flying them over for the global ball. So go over for the global ball in London and then fly back again. But you work for it, like they work you hard as well. So
What do you recommend? Big or small firms?
it depends on you as a person. Look, there's something to be said for both of them. Obviously, if you get the big ones on your resume, but also the big ones employ 5% of graduates. What is another 95%? They're going to mid, they're going to micro, they're going to joining a sole practitioner, they're working in community centres. So they might not pay as well, but the work and the range is probably broader as well. So it kind of depends. And there's some people who all they want to do is go to bar, so they go down that get the experience needed to go towards that because that's obviously if you're really drawn towards family, you might end up in college. So it depends on also what works you both as well. We might do all of those at a time. So one of the guys that runs one of the community leaders in sort of Sunshine Coast for an Indigenous Legal Centre, he stood up at a Sunshine Coast breakfast they had for Reconciliation Week. He's like, look, I can't pay you what they're paying you on Eagle Street, but I can promise you that you'll make a difference. And you'll be, you'll feel really warm that you are changing people's lives. So if that's your calling, that's the real one. I met some girls up in they're unlike one of ours up in North Queensland, they go on the circuit and go out to all the Indigenous communities. They probably don't get paid anywhere near what they do on Eagle Street, but they love it. And they said, no, I cannot imagine doing anything else. This is my calling. You know, this is what I want to do with my life. I want to go in and protect them and protect children and make a difference and stop cycles. And that's why I became a lawyer. So they would never ever take it up. And I've met people who've given up the corner office on Eagle Street to go and do that. So I would say investigate what's on offer. The community legal centre isn't flying at the moment, but you might have, you know, that might enrich your soul more than the corporate world might. Some people get off on deals and all that sort of stuff, but and some people I've heard they probably couldn't cope with that more intense sort of maybe family law. They're like, oh no, mergers and acquisitions, no one's going to be, you know what I mean? So it depends on, you know, and we need all lawyers in law, don't we? And there'll be some of you who won't stay in the law. You'll go and do other things with your law degree. A law degree is key to many doors. So you might, and I've met in-house lawyers that wouldn't do anything else. And I met this one lady the other day. She works for a company that sells the electricity. I think she generates the electricity and sells to Energix. So she goes, mine's all contracts and energy prices and this and that. She goes, well, I'm in-house. So every organisation in the world needs accountants and every organisation in the world needs lawyers. So you're never going to be out of work. People say, oh, the job market's really tough, it's hard to get a job. Yeah, it is. However, if you are doing all those things